Hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Farah. Welcome to my channel. It's YouTube. It's October 14th, and we are talking Love is Blind. Of course, this is season 7, episode 8 and 9. We are doing a mega recap, two-parter, let me just that. Ha ha ha. My audio should be better as we gear up to finish out the second drop of this season. And of course, we still have more episodes to come. It's Tuesday right now, which means tomorrow, Wednesday, they're dropping more. Now, we can guess. Obviously, episode 10 comes, and we know they are living. This is the first, we end episode 9 at the first social meeting of everyone. And we now know there's more time to come in the living together situation. For instance, Sparkle Megan's going to meet Luca. But all that to say, how many episodes do you think we're going to get tomorrow? Like, what do you think the infrastructure of this season is? I think that there are 2 more episodes in the homes that they're like living together at. And I think that they're going to do 2 episodes for this drop. And I think they're going to give us maybe the conclusion and tell all in the next drop. So you tell me what you think. How are you all? I'm just going to wait a little bit for people to get in the room. Also tell you, right now in the Pacific Standard Time, West Coast, it's 4:00. And we're doing, as I've said, Love is Blind. And then we're going to do Sister Wives. And then we're going to do 90 Day Fiancé Toe. So in the next 3 hours, if you're game and you've watched those shows, or at least for some reason want to hear me talk by myself, this voice, for those 3 hours, just keep listening. It's free. Also, though, if you don't mind, go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and tickle that algorithm, turn on the light switch, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell if you haven't yet. Also, obviously, hi, I'm Chris Farah. You can also follow me on Instagram. I have a Substack, honey. I'm doing TikTok. I'm going to unabashedly create as much as possible under the guise, because my friend Amanda told me this, quote, that you have to be not afraid to look like you're trying. And when I say I'm trying to create, like a community of people that like to watch TV or consider pop culture subjects the way I do, which is like somewhat removed, that we're not like weird, mean fans, but also can like talk deeply about dumb shit, which I do like to do. So, hi. Okay, it is almost 4 minutes. Well, it's 3 minutes. So that's on the agenda. We're going to talk about those 3 shows in the next 3 hours. And we're going to, I have YouTube URLs. So I'll go ahead and drop those, and then we can go from chat to chat. I really enjoyed the last 2 episodes of Love is Blind. In fact, these last 2 episodes have been, for me, the best episodes of the season so far. So, and I hope this is true, but I have a friend who gets, them in advance, not me, that told me that episode 10 specifically is supposed to be really, really great. And I want to hold this person to that. I don't want to tell you guys who this person is, although this person is like a podcaster, because if this person's lying to me, I don't want to put a bounty on this person's head, but they better not have lied. And episode 10 better be great. Okay, let's get into this mega recap. As we know, we are going from Baja right to, the couples actually living together in real life and experiencing real life with all of their jobs and commitments and seeing if they can coexist in that space. So we know what happened in Baja. There was some drama, specifically Calabria, Edmund, specifically Joe, Madison. Well, I mean, no one feels great. I'm thinking about the recaps I did yesterday. I mean, this season is so weird, and none of these couples like each other truly. And there is not one shred of like a morsel of like truth to say that any of these people are going to spend any amount of time together after the camera stop filming. I mean, truly, that's how I feel. Even the most delusional ones, like I do appreciate, I do appreciate Annie and Nick. Okay, but let's start. So we open episode 8 in Sparkle and Jordan's shared home, which of course isn't his home and it's not her home. She lives again in Los Angeles, but she's moving to Denver. She has to sell her home. He lives in a 1-bedroom. We're going to see his place. They're not living in his place. He lives in a 1-bedroom with Luca, who he gets however amount of time of the time. We don't actually know. What the custody arrangement is, and not that I'm asking, but Sparkle is having a conversation with Jordan where she's upset. Like, it took me 4 minutes into the scene to realize why her tone was thusly, because she's like talking and she's like seemingly like impatient over the time frame, and we get Jordan doing what Jordan does, which is like, well, this is what it is. We have to, I'm gonna try and see what we can do with Luca and Luca Luca's mom, and when the appropriate time to do that is. And it might not be that Luca can spend any amount of time here perchance or be on camera. And of course, Sparkle Megan's like, but we have to figure it out. We can't get married without me meeting Luca. And then when she said that, I was like, oh, who is, in my mind, I was like, is she upset at Luca's mom for not allowing Luca to have more time with Jordan during this filming? Is she upset at Jordan, who doesn't seem to be making it a priority to introduce Sparkle Megan to his son? Like, wherein is it, or what? But she knows that obviously it's important to meet that son before she gets married. And I think that she has obviously trepidation about that because she's never been a mom, and she wants to know that this child is going to probably like enjoy her energy and vice versa, that the child isn't, going to just be immediately scared or fearful, which, God, all of that is so messy. Because it can go either way, right? Like, what if you were just like really afraid to meet this child, and this child was just like the most beautiful, loving, warm, sweet thing to you, and you were just like, oh my God, I just am in love with this person already, and I just want to spend every moment with this child. Fuck this Jordan. Or, or like if you're, let's just be, okay, me. When my dad got custody of me, I was 6 or 7, okay? So the women that my dad would bring around to meet me, I wasn't like happy about them. Now, Luca's much younger, right? All that to say, my energy wasn't great to those women. I didn't want to meet them at all. I didn't want them around, so it is important. And so I just was kind of wanting to know exactly what the like challenge was. What was she upset about? Because I could hear in the tone, and we had to like piece it together. Madison and Joe, obviously have been having issues, and they fight because this is like they fight over like the kitchen island of their place, because she feels like he is not marriage minded, and he has a lot of fear because Madison and him don't have a good connection, and they don't really have like a lot to work on. And so he doesn't want to get married, and especially for the rest of his life, to this person. And so he is showing that in his energy and his words and his behaviors and his confessionals and the way he treats her and every morsel of it, and like literally running away from and becoming the most intoxicated person in Baja California. She's not like being like, well, dude, it's obvious that like this isn't for you. And so she's upset at him for not either taking this seriously or being more positive. And I mean, listen, the crux is on him. He should be like, oh, I'm so sorry. This isn't for me. Like, he should, it's hard for people to leave the Love is Blind experiment with dignity. Like, it's hard for people to, I guess, be able to be like, you know what? We've talked in the pods, and there was like a mental connection. And now that I'm with you and I've spent some time around you, I can tell that this isn't a fit. it's like if you say that to someone in this world, that person will be like, "Well, why did you even pick me then? Why did you say that you love me? Why did you like, you know, propose marriage to me?" And it's like, well, because I A thought I was supposed to, we're on a show, and also B, I thought it was I assumed it felt good at the time, and then now realizing it doesn't, you can't hold me to this and stay in badness just because it's a lie to you for me to stay. It's a weird thing or whatever, but people don't leave that much with a lot of truth. What we get is like a Casey kind of leaving, which is lying about how she feels so she saves face, but at the same time we know, and it's like no one's been done any favors, truly. So um when we actually go to see Jordan's actual place, and he said it's a one bedroom, and he said that Luca had his own room, and when she was like, wait, let me see, math, one bedroom, Luca has his own room, where do you sleep, like in the bathtub? She couldn't put it together, and he was like, you'll see, he's Jordan's kind of weird. She gets there, it's stark. He has that Roomba, honey. The Roomba is going. I think it's good to have a Roomba going. I always kind of want to know, like, so how much time were they given to pre-clean and get their shit together before someone gets there? Because oftentimes either, places are start clean where I'm like, or you're an OCD person who left this way, or we think that they've had time to go back and check. But it's also interesting that people get mad at people for not having food and or for having too much food in their room. I'm sorry, in their refrigerator. I'm assuming that if you know you're going to be gone from your house for more than a week, that you probably throw away most of your like refrigerated food. You would keep stuff in your freezer for sure, but these people have been gone longer, right? Like, aren't the pods in themselves like a week, and then like, well, I don't know how long, 2 weeks? How long do you think they've been gone? Anyway, so we get a little pocket of Allie and Anton. They both work nights. I mean, there is no, this doesn't seem to be any warmth or charm in their situation. Have they seem bored of each other. She's a nurse. He trains truck drivers. And when they both come home, she's still in her scrubs. She's like, yeah, usually it is I go to the gym. I'm always so impressed when people go to the gym after they've done things. The only like consistent time I feel like I've worked out or gone to a gym is when my schedule had it so that I could work out in the morning, and then maybe like whatever I was doing happened a little later, like, afternoon on. Anyway, so but I mean, she to be a nurse and then to go to Planet Fitness, I mean, like, that's discipline. And Allie has it. He doesn't. He is making like a big ass steak and eggs, honey, like he's going to like Norms. I haven't seen like a steak and eggs like that in a long ass time. They drink a post-work mimosa. And, yeah, Allie is not a party girl at all. Like, Allie wants the finer things in life and wants to, I think, be a little like Pilates housewife, like a healthy matcha drinking Pilates housewife. Sorry, housewife. So, and he, in the pods with all the babies was giving traditional gender roles. Like, they talked about that, and protector provider energy. And outside of the pods, it certainly seems like he realizes the jig is up, that he wanted to be like a smooth talking cool guy in the pods, but then reality's reality, and he like only has whatever he has now, and he certainly has a big budget for booze, which we'll find out later, and like strip clubs and stuff like that. So I think that in these moments you see someone start to like realize you can't fake it till you make it sometimes. Like, sometimes the truth is truth, and then they start to feel bad, insecure, and start to self-sabotage. I think it's very interesting. I think that Anton, kind of in his heart of hearts, did not realize, Allie looked the way she did, which is like a very good looking girl. And I think that he was hoping she probably would be a little more down to earth or girl next door in her like vibes and stuff like that, because and I think that for him probably it's a tiny bit more relatable and or like less threatening. But something besides Allie has kept him doing the Anton, which I feel like is a sort of like, it's one of those like kind of mouse wheels where every day feels the same and he's not like moving forwards because of whatever trajectory. S- Men who party a lot, like single dudes, there is like a Peter Pan syndrome. I think there's something that like is keeping you from, I mean, a sort of forwardness. And having said that, I'm no saint, but I mean, okay, so I think that she's picking up on these things though. Also, Allie, I can't quite tell. I think sometimes does that like Egyptian eyeliner in the corner of her eye in that little pocket, and I love it. It's like maybe like in a light brown. Um, she wants to be taken care of, and she wants him to understand that she needs money for the things that she does already. That's what taking care of her means. It means providing for what she already provides for herself. And what she provides for herself is Botox and all of the other lovely high maintenance things that, women who present super femme and, enjoy, they're wielding a power of beauty because they've felt that, like to keep up with that. And I feel always confused by men's lack of understanding of that. Like when a man sees a woman who looks like Allie, I don't understand why they don't automatically assume that she spends a lot of time, energy, and money to look that way. And that if you would like someone to look that way, you provide that. If you are that kind of traditional man that likes to say that you are and provide those things, like you have to provide her money for Botox. That only makes sense. Look at her. So, yeah, I love her hair color. I really do. It's like this like beautiful brown that like goes into caramel honey. I mean, she obviously is very discerning about certain things. I'm not saying that everything is like elegant and perfect. I do think that she's a certain aesthetic. It's very Instagram, like I think Allie's beautiful. I will say that I think that like there's not a lot of character to her face left, right? And I get it. I get that getting so many things done to your face and body, but like, your face, if you do all of the things, if you get lips, nose, and eyes, and all of the things, you slowly take away the sort of asymmetrical, imperfect parts that actually like give you character, make your face stand out or whatever. And I mean, it's a fucked up line to walk. Yeah, I had like a cosmetic cosmetic dermatologist once told me, I'm not saying I'm not going to always do this, but that person told me never touch your eyes, your nose, or your lips. You can kind of like do everything else. Like, when I say do everything else, you can put like filler here, you can like get a facelift or whatever, but that'll be harder to like see a difference. And it's true. But at the same time, like there are so many plastic surgery things that are in like blephs, like a bleph. I can't say the whole thing. I can only say the word bleph, right? What's the whole word? Blephamy? A blephaplint? I mean, I don't know. Okay. Rhinoplasty, blepharoplasty. That's what I would have to be. A bleph. I mean, I'm talking about. It's the eyelid surgery that, they all get. Margot Robbie, like Ariana Grande, like they all get it. Like that's what Emma Stone just got. Like that's Lindsay, like they all get that, like, thing. And it's coupled with all the other things, and everyone just has the same face. So I'm not saying that Allie had a bleph, but Allie had a nose job. And so, and Allie's like entire aesthetic is just so perfect looking that sometimes she is gorgeous. And they, and I think that like specifically for men, they'll be like, oh, so beautiful. But they have to assume that costs money and he doesn't. And then I think that he's dumb for not knowing that. They don't have a similar vibe. He wants so badly to have like a girl next door who's going to be like, okay, like wearing a corny sweater and think it's funny, but she's not that girl. She wants the sweater to be like Ralph Lauren or like Celine. She doesn't want a corny sweater. She doesn't think she's not a kitschy girl. She's not campy or kitschy or sentimental in that way. I don't think that Allie like has like joyous inside dumb jokes with people. I think that Allie's joy comes from enjoying luxurious and or expensive and or easy beautiful experiences with people she loves. And Anton wants to go to strip clubs and drink. So it's like, they are so mismatched. And I think that that's another thing about Love is Blind. Like this experiment does not work. Not at all. They shouldn't be together. Also, Love is Blind, the experiment would have to work over like months where you talk to many different people. There's just no probability where you can assume that a group of like 40 people has like 6 forever love matches based upon your casting of going to weird bars in one city for like 2 months. Okay. So they end on a not great note. You're just like, okay, so moving from one train wreck to another. But this one's a good scene, I guess. I mean, in a good scene that we have a fun character, but not a great scene that we think that this couple is going to endure. And that's Edmund gets to introduce Calabria to his mother, Carrie. He makes pancakes and his mother comes over. And obviously we know Edmund's story, which is that he was raised in and out of the foster care system. And that although that could assume that there was trying times for his family or an instability, that he has forged a really great relationship with his mother, that they like whatever problems or challenges have subsided from time or experience or whatnot. And she's great. She's very loving and wise and nice, like I don't know how honest anyone can be on this show about what's probably good for anyone on this show because I don't think that we've talked a lot about I don't know. Everyone's keeping something to their chest. Calabria knows that she's not going to end up with Edmund. I don't know why Calabria is still here or why Calabria wants to meet this nice lady. But the nice lady brings some beads from Ghana. Her mom, Carrie, who's Edmund's mom, is also very sensitive and cries a lot. So, he gets that from her. And Calabria is very kind and polite. And she's okay. So one thing that Carrie says of interest is that she's unhappy with her other daughter-in-laws because she's had conversations with them that have returned to, um, her sons, and that was upsetting to her. Now, what I want, and then she was like, "Oh, there should be like a loyalty. If I'm talking to you, you don't have to like tell him." But then I want to know, like, well, what'd you say though? Why, like, if you're telling this woman, that she'll never be able to make decisions because you rule the roost when it comes to your son, and then she relayed to your son, her husband, that was not going to fly, and that her son then told you that. I mean, then that makes sense. It's interesting because I think that at some point, and again, I've never been married, but it's hard to assume that you can tell someone who's married something and believe they're not going to tell like the person they've committed their entire life to. Like maybe if you are a mom and then your child marries someone and you tell your child something, maybe you're like, please don't tell, your husband. But even then they probably could. And you'd be like, well, it's because you share a life together and that person needed to know. And what can I assume? But for Edmund's mom to assume loyalty not being someone's mom and just being someone's mother-in-law over your daughter-in-law's husband is like an interesting point of view and not correct. And also, again, I need to know what you said. Um, we go to Joe's house. His place is also very stark. Madison has put the ring back on. Surprise, surprise. She wants that ring on. No matter what Joe can do, like Madison will be like, it's totally fine though. Ha ha ha. He has no decorative pillows, and I feel like he needs just like a quick trip. Cost Plus World Market. They have so many. I miss Pier 1. I really loved Pier 1. Pier 1, like I think they closed most of the stores, if not all the stores, and online maybe still exists. I just loved it. I thought it was cost effective and the furniture wasn't that bad. I think it was like cheaper than other things, but better than other things, period. Like Pier 1 had better home things than, let's just say, Target. God. This world is spinning into an absolute disaster. And the closing of Pier 1's was like only one thing. Okay, so one thing that Joe has a lot of, and we would never have guessed it, would be a very large amount of self-help books. Does he read them? Why does he have them? I just assume that like basically no one younger than like 31 even like owns printed books. I just like assume they just have a Kindles, Apple iPads. I'm not sure, Apple iPads. Now here's something interesting. Madison runs through Joe's place and calls him out, honey. I mean, like a roast comedian. Like she is just like, look at these appliances. Are you like what, at a budget hotel? And they certainly look that way. And then I was like, well, is this a real place or is this Airbnb? Because the look of his coffee maker was a very specific model of Mr. Coffee Maker or KitchenAid. That, like speaking of stores, like you could of course go to Target and then buy a kitchen appliance, but you know how you could also go to CVS and it's like bargain basement. It's like whatever they have, they have. All of his appliances look like they were bought from like like a drugstore. Yeah, he's not a big cooker. You know, Joe's really young, so he's not ready to get married. He's a baby, and so I'm just impressed that he had a toaster. I also want to know, like, does he spend nights reading those self-help books, or does he have the self-help books because he feels less than truly like? And if people have a lot of why can I say it? Self-help. If people have a lot of self-help books, does it automatically register to you that this person, these people, anyone might be overly insecure? I love the fact that Madison's like, me too, so many, I love them. Like 7 habits of highly effective people. I guess probably like one of the habits would be like to read the book and not just like have it like in a box in your closet. Or not even like you venture. You spend most of your time by that Conair toaster. He does have a lot of meat though. I want to know like what kind of meat. Is it bison? And like where'd you get it? Did you go to like Costco or did you hunt it? Also, how are you going to cook it? Like in that toaster? In the coffee maker? Or like somewhere else? Is there a pressure cooker? Is there a grill somewhere? Now here is, to me, the wildest part of the episode, and I have a picture of it. He's like, yeah, and look over there. Over there is my PS5. This motherfucker, Joe, lies to her for no reason and says that he has a PS5. And the camera looks over and shows us in our face a PS4. It's a PS4. Okay. Small beans, maybe. But I feel like dudes know their toys. Dudes know their toys. He knows it's a PS4. Right? I mean, I don't know exactly what model of iPhone this is. Like, I know it's not the newest one. So it's the 16. But even then, you can afford me like, oh, okay, well, but like to think you have a PS5, but then what? Someone tells you, do that the whole time. No, you've been playing a PS4. He's not gonna be like, oh, whoa, crazy. He's been knowing it's a PS4. Why did he lie in that moment? If you're gonna lie in that moment for such a small thing, what are you gonna lie about? I mean, I wish you called him out for it. And I also like it's so funny uh when yeah, like she doesn't play a video game. Sometimes there'll be times in which I'm dating someone and that person plays a video game and I try so hard to relate to it. And it's not that I don't play. I like video games. Just that I know the video games I like are like not at all what this person plays, right? Like this person plays a sports game or one of those first person shooter games. And the person's not going to want to be like Mario Kart or like let me play Chun-Li against their Smash Brothers, Street Fighter, whatever, God bless. And that's sad for me. Or The Sims. But I will bring it up at least to be like, oh, I know video games. Madison, it's interesting because in this moment, except for the self-help books, like I don't know why she would enjoy Joe. Okay, you can also be like they have great sex, which we'll get to. And maybe, yeah, like that he promised once that he'll take care of her if she goes blind. And you can tell me that she thinks he's hot, but why does she like him again? Like, what was the moments in the pod that made her feel like this person saw her soul and like saw a part of her that no one else did and like she lets her guard down? Like, to me, all she's felt is someone's immaturity and unease and trepidation around her. And it's funny that she is angry about it without conceding that it exists for a reason, which is they're not supposed to be together anyway. So we move over to Megan, who's going to have Jordan meet her mother and her sister on the 4th anniversary of her dad's passing. So all of that's happening. Mom comes with a big ass balloon. It's not subtle, but I love the mom. The mom has great energy. The sister does too. Sometimes I go back and forth of watching the sister in the confessionals to camera with the mom to feel like if I can tell if the sister thinks that Jordan is right for her sister. Because sometimes parents want so badly for their kids to be happy that I think that parents can have more of a like, great, okay, well, that's happening, where siblings can be like, okay. Are we sure about that? So having said that, let's move on. So the sister, Jane, I think Jane, is like, I had a dream. This part makes me feel like the sister likes Jordan at first. And it's like the sister had a dream that their dad, who God bless, died, had type 1 diabetes, came down, told her that Jordan did too, and therefore it's like supposed to be. And that in Jordan having type 1 diabetes, that was the dad's way of like winking to Sparkle Megan to be like, he's a good one. Which is like a hard thing to tell someone because if my dad died, and let's just say I was dating someone and like my cousin Monique or someone who like has known my dad for a long time, someone in my family, like I don't have a sister, so whatever, God bless, was like, your dad came to me in a dream and told me that he sent John and, that John loves Danny Thomas. And that was the way that your dad wanted you to know that this man's made for you. What if Johnny wasn't great for me? And I just had to suddenly now think, well, my dead dad thinks this person is the one for me. I just can't go against God and my dead dad. Johnny came my way. He loves Danny Thomas. There can't possibly be any other reason for that coincidence. So anyway, God bless. That is what happened. But then something else happens. Barada gets put on the table. Jordan is baffled by Barada. He's baffled by it. So you have to tell me if that seems suspect. Now, here's the thing. If Jordan was, from like not the he's from the hospitality. He's from the hospitality industry. He, I think, is a bartender, something like that. So he should know what burrata is. Burrata is like pretty fucking common. Like burrata's on a lot of menus. Yeah, it's fancy mozzarella, but it's not like something that's like, za'atar or daka or trying to think of like things that are on menus like, egg shakshuka, which I think you should know anyway, but like it's not such a trend on menus that is only kind of happening in the past like 5 years. Like burrata's been around. Him not knowing burrata is a little LOL. Because again, it's like not I mean, here's the thing. Not everyone has to have a lot of money, and definitely he's doesn't have a lot of money, and that makes sense a lot of sense. It's just that I think that yeah, you don't go out to eat to Italian restaurants ever. Just seems a little shocking to me. Italian restaurants are just like very common. Okay. I'll stop talking about it. What do you guys think? I feel like she was a little bit like, I cannot believe that he doesn't know burrata. And I feel like her sister heard that and was like, you think you're going to marry someone who doesn't understand what burrata is? That you love burrata. So then again, the mom, has a lovely conversation with Jordan, and Jordan is going to ask the mom, for Sparkle Megan's hand. And there's a cute aside of like just waiting for you to go to the bathroom. And the thing that Jordan has going for himself is that he is witty. He's a witty, charming, fast. I mean, charming is relative, but he's witty and definitely has more wit than any other man on this show. Because I mean, it's slim fucking pickings. It's Anton. There is no humor there. There's no humor in Nick. That's crazy. Joe is not witty. He can bear like what's happening in Joe's mind is like tumbleweeds. It's I mean, it's not it, like, and Edmund, God bless. I'm not gonna even, so okay. So all that to say, because he has a little bit of charm, we think he's funny. And that's what it is. Megan gets to like enjoy that. And and by then he is like the most, I guess, fuckable person. So he asks them for, their blessing, and the mom's happy to give it. And, we'll see. It's perfect, they say. So then we move over to Anna and Nick, and this is a banana scene. Nick lives in a mountain man house, and Anna knew this, and this is one of the reasons why she thought that he was going to have like a beard and have like a man bun and be like, more brawny or whatever, but Nick isn't. We start to realize that Nick is rich. Nick comes from money. That's fine. But okay. So the house it looks staged. It looks like a staged mountain cabin. It's truly beautiful. What a beautiful mountain cabin. It's incredibly charming and romantic and idyllic. Like there's snow on the ground. It's gorgeous. He shows her around. He has raced many different places, and there's all these medals. And when he's not racing, he does every sport that can be done in the snow and has what looks like every gear possible for them. And we know, listen, snow gear is so fucking expensive. It's wild. Now, yeah, like to ski is so expensive. I can't get over it. I mean, especially for someone who doesn't live in those climates and you have to like rent and all that stuff. But he has so many accoutrements for so many things. They're all lined up. He has a vintage car, like a 19 something or other. I mean, is it one of those like fake vintage ones that's like a model, or but I mean it drives. I mean, I don't know. It's like that seems probably, I mean, it's funny. We wait to really see like how rich he is. Whew. Annie like can't deal. Like she, I think, is literally looking around like singing like we're in the money. That like we're in the money, or like one of the songs from Annie, She must feel like he's Daddy Warbucks. Like, like she can't believe that he has all these things. Like when he's not racing that sports car, he has this like VR virtual reality. I don't know. There's maybe not system that he also built in the corner where he races. She like can't take it all in. And having seen his whole beautiful world, he's like, yeah, but you know what? I'll give it all up and don't even need to live here. Would rather just like follow you wherever you want. She's like, yeah, I have like my really important job where I have to live in the city. This is, I guess, an hour away. And like, it's funny because at first it's like, were the producers wanting it to be a problem? And he doesn't let it be a problem. He's like, yeah, not a big deal. I'll just move in with you. And she's like, oh, but are you sure? I don't want you to give up what you obviously love. He's like, it's not a big deal. I can always come back here. You're not asking me to sell this. And I was like, sell? Yeah, he definitely owns this. So funny. Yeah, you were just asking him to drive an hour when he wants to be here. Like, I, this is like the most first class, or but like 2% of the first class problems. Oh, but are you okay, baby? Leaving your already bought home unattended and then just living with me and then just coming here when you want. What a big sacrifice. So I don't know. What a weird scene, but okay. So, but I feel like this whole season wasn't watched by a producers that like want the show to have a real element of love. I mean, it's a reality show. So as long as they show kind of bananas people doing whatever bananas people do, that's all they can like promise us. But I mean, what a crazy ass scene. So, um, Madison and Joe meet his family. His family's lovely, a bunch of cute people. Madison wears a really cute, like marigold corduroy outfit. Just like, what a fun thing. Um, Allie and Anton meet his friends, Joe and Melissa. Now, Joe and Melissa have met, basically ran into a relationship and have been dating for 2 months. And then at one point, Allie gets up with Melissa, and Melissa tells Allie all the things that Allie has been sniffing, which is that Anton ain't shit. He's just a weird single party guy that that pretended that his friend Joe was a party guy, but it's actually Anton, and they like spend a lot of time just like partying in clubs, trying to get whatever girls to be in whatever sections, just drinking so much. And like, that's why he probably doesn't have enough money to like spend any real money on your ring. He drinks it every night. And Allie hears all this and she's really pissed, and she comes back and she's like warns him but doesn't actually tell him why. And then from this moment you'll think, oh, Chris, okay, good. So are you gonna tell me that the next episode starts with their conversation about what happens with these friends? And I'll be like, nope. The next scene of the next episode is Megan and Jordan talking, and he makes a fucking smoothie from a NutriBullet made from Crystal Light and chicken. And it's so gross, so gross, disgusting. And I think that, God bless, the algorithms have realized that people like fucked up food, or they like being grossed out, or they like talking about fucked up food. Like, like rage bait. You see a lot of those. Like, that's why I feel like this kind of scene is like Sparkle Megan's like, why wouldn't you just have 6 hard-boiled eggs? I like hard-boiled eggs, especially if they have like salt and pepper on them. Yummy. You can't. Does anyone else? I mean, is this a real thing? Okay, then you would have to tell me that this is a real thing that people actually do. I can't imagine. It's disgusting. Why would you do, like, why not just have, because 55 grams of protein or whatever and 350 calories is like, yeah, those macros. I'm like, well, I don't understand why you wouldn't just do then powdered scoops of protein and like coconut water, or I don't even know, milk, whatever. You could do anything and get 55 grams of protein with 350 calories. It's not that hard to me. Disgusting. Why would you pick that one? So then we get a scene where Annie is in her salon. And now that Annie knows that Nick will just build shit all the time, like that thing, she's like having him build things. Now, then I remember that Annie works at a salon. Now, I don't understand on God's green earth how we are in this scene here at Annie's salon and Annie's hair still looks like Annie's hair. What? Why? What is happening? I just only because, okay, we all have blindness or whatever. Annie went into Love is Blind being like, I cannot do the show without massive eyelashes being put on me. I know visually I need something. It's massive eyelashes. Why? Why? Was she not like, I know what I need, my just for them to touch up my hair. And here's the thing. Right now I have roots. Obviously. I mean, I'm getting my hair done tomorrow. They're not that bad. They kind of give that like Heather Locklear, ugh, during her best time, honey. Melrose Place, Heather Locklear. When Monday nights were a bitch, she had those dark ass roots, blonde ass hair. Ugh. But anyway, God bless. So they're fixing something in the salon, not her hair. Okay. Um, Edmund gets Calabria some roller skates. Now he loves rollerblading. She can't do it. And you know what's sad about that is that even if you're like, oh, great, I'll take my baby rollerblading, it's like you don't get to do the thing that you can do so well with someone who can enjoy it like you. Like you're going to have someone who's like falling. God, it made me think, Edmund, you better fucking meet someone who's like a rollerblader. You got to meet someone in that group, honey. You already said you have that group. You got to find someone in that group. You got to find a girl that loves to rollerblade. I don't know what to tell you, Edmund. You know, you can do. Come to Orange County or come to Venice. I feel like, Venice Beach, like Muscle Beach, like a lot of Santa Monica. There's a lot of people rollerblading, especially like what in the 80s and 90s. Maybe you can go back in time, to like Malibu and like get one of those girls with a high like bikinis, like up their vaginas, like, with all the thigh was shown and they had rollerblades. Sometimes they had like neon headbands. Oh, Edmund. Sparkle Megan decides to go house hunting in a white mini dress with puffy short sleeves. Sparkle Megan also has been making Jordan like dress in coordination with her, which is very funny. Very funny. Sparkle Megan's rich and Jordan's not. So she's just going to buy this home, which has 6 beds. It's too many beds. Why would you need 6 bedrooms? I'm like, it's so weird to me. Like, why would you need 6 bedrooms? That's nightmarish. He's like, lot of bedrooms. She's like, yeah, but it's like, my workout room, my Luca room, my room, your room, my beauty room. You're like, what? Then they talk about price and Jordan's like, I don't know. And she's like, yeah, okay, fine. How about I buy it 1.5 or whatever. And then, or no, so this is what it is. It's a $2 million home and she has 1.5. So she's like, okay, I'll buy it for 1.5. And when you like, I'm really bad at what actually happens. So they have to like get a loan or something like that. And then she wanted him to put up half of the remainder, which is $250,000. And then even then I was like, bitch, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have $250,000. And even if he did, I just don't think that he's going to want to like tie that up in this big ass house. That's not Jordan's vibe. Look at his tats. She also, you know what? Okay. Can I tell you how much I hate a modern bathtub? And you see them everywhere. She's like, look at the bathtub. And it's one of those just like, yeah, it's a modern bathtub. I don't understand modern bathtubs in the sense that they are just so uncomfortable looking. And they're never big. They're just anyway. So he's like, I'll tell you how not into this I am. We'll go and buy furniture at Rustic Hardware. She's like, Rustic Hardware, it's restoration, babe. He's like, I don't care. Like it's not gonna even happen then. So that, like moot point. He says he brings nothing to the table and this is too much house. And those are the truest things that he's ever said. It's not that he doesn't bring anything to the table. It's just that I don't know what it is for her. Jordan does bring things to the table. I just don't know what he brings her other than allowing her to do whatever she wants. But will he? Um, this is going to end on the best scene possible, which is that finally we get everyone's big social gathering where now they're back in Colorado. And I'm putting in the chat, by the way, what's going to happen in the next 8 minutes, which is that once I'm done with this scene, we're going to transition into Sister Wives. So if you want to join me, I'll have to end this live on this YouTube link and then go into that YouTube. So having said that, uh we get a final country social party and everyone's in their like cowboys finest and everyone looks really really good, so much so that I was like, oh, I wonder if everyone gets like a little stylist to make sure that their outfit is on point, because people don't know how to put outfits together like with all of the accoutrements, like with a whole look, and I think that everyone really did, so that's why. um Allie immediately tells the girls about Anton and how shitty it is that Anton lied to her and flirts all the time. Edmund rides the bull and he does a good job. Like he I think does the best job possible, but at the same time I also was like, you're not going to like throw one of these people, like if you go to Saddle Ranch they'll throw you off that bucking cow. But they can't really do that on reality shows. So I was kind of like, why have this here? Okay. We also get to find out that Sparkle gets to met Luca's mom off camera and will meet him off camera, and that Luca's mom is really awesome, and that makes us really happy. Patrick comes in, and all the girls like, Patrick! And Patrick's like, I don't care about you, and beelines it straight to the men, and tells them exactly what happened, that Casey did the whole thing, what we saw Casey do, but at the very end, Casey was like, yeah, I totally still want to be in a relationship with you, and then they get to like Colorado, and he like tries to contact her, and she won't even call him to talk on the phone. And he's like, okay, well, what do you want me to say? And she's like, well, tell me broke up. And he's like, okay, well then can I get that ring back? And she's like, no. I wonder what Casey's going to do with the ring. God, I wonder if that was the best part where I'm like, okay, that's the best part of information where I'm like, Casey, if you come to is Casey going to come to the tell all? You can't come to the tell all and keep a ring. I don't think so. I think that it's too villainous. I think that if you decide to keep the ring, then the public, I'm assuming, can't see your face again. Because if she kept the ring, people are going to like put her shit to the fire. So then Kate comes through and meets Joe, meets Nick, and then Anna, and then Mike come, and then Brendan comes, and everyone's like, what? Oh my God, hi. And everyone gets this joke of like, hi, like where Jordan brings Mike and then is like, hi, Megan, meet my friend Mike. But we all know that all these lovely people have come out of the pods and looked up on Instagram what all these people look like. So it isn't like Sparkle Megan doesn't know what Mike looks like. It's like Sparkle Megan has to be like, oh my God, you're Mike. No, because she's looked at his Instagram. So she's like, I know. Hi. So Anna is so happy that she has Nick, and Brendan is like still like so sad. And yet like Jordan is like, dude, you don't get it. Like Annie is eccentric. You're smooth, and I'm like, you're not saying what you want to say. You're saying that she's better with Nick, who's also eccentric. Two eccentric character types. Is that what you're saying? And you're what, leading man? That's what as an actor, that's what I took that as. Jordan can't watch Allie on that bull, honey. It's too hot. And I was like, yeah, this bull was a bad idea because you can't really throw anyone out of the way, and the women don't look great on it. You can't throw a woman or a man. You can also like hurt someone. This is like a lawsuit waiting to happen, because you could be like, oh, they threw me so hard from that bull because they wanted to make good television, but God bless. So, Annie and Patrick talk, which of course is like the best part of the entire scene. We're like on bated breath. And Annie puts Patrick's toesies to the fire by being like, okay, so you told me that you loved me. He's like, yeah. And if you had stayed, you're my number one. I would have got married to you. I would have, I wanted to be with you. And she's like, yeah. You did. You end up, well, not to me. You told me you loved me. And then what, 48 hours later, you got engaged to, is it Casey with a Y there? With a Y? He's like, And it's great because Patrick is a dumb fuck. But Patrick really wanted to lean on like a sob story for us to feel bad for him. But then, when he realized he didn't have a good option and decided to stay with Casey even though she was vapid, it made us realize that his end game wasn't to find love, but to either be on the show or, because he wants a hot blonde girlfriend. Who the fuck knows, right? Like we just don't know, but the answer is not love. Madison and Kate hang out all night long. Madison's like, I don't give a shit about Joe. She's seeing that Joe's going to drink or whatever. She's like, maybe she realizes Madison and Kate are having the time of their lives. The other best part of this scene, besides the fact that Anna gets to talk to Patrick and is like, you aren't dignified. The way that you handled yourself isn't someone who's like looking for love. And I was right to leave because you can't put it on me thinking that like I ran from your connection, because if this was real, you wouldn't have been able to just shift gears and suddenly spend the rest of your life with, again, Casey with a Y in the middle of it, So Joe does get drunk, and Joe can't hold back truth anymore. Not the truth that Madison and him shouldn't be together and that he should leave and there's like no love for him here, but the truth that people hate Nick. Joe hates him. Most people don't like him, but Joe's not for him. Nick's not for Joe. It's funny because like in real time, it's like Joe starts talking and you realize that he has to stop talking because he knows it sounds bad what he's saying, even though it's erupting from his soul like diarrhea of the mouth or like throwing up. He can't stop it, but he's trying to form it to sound as good as possible. I love it. One thing about Joe is that he has a breeder fetish, maybe? I'm not quite sure. But Madison is like, you guys, not only did I say that sex was good, but he loves to like tell me he wants to make a baby with me. And I think it's like Kate that hears that and she's like, that's so hot. And they go frolic together, like taking pictures or whatever. It's so, it's not Love is Blind. It feels so elementary school. Like it feels like they're all like at some weird prep school together, or like some boarding school, because it feels like people who have no other options in this world for social solitary reasons. There's no one else around, but obviously know that that's not true. But like this motley crew would never choose to be around not only who they've chosen to be with, but like even each other, maybe except for Madison and Kate, who truly like each other, and maybe Jordan and Joe. But even then, it's not like Jordan and Joe really hang out that much during this social interaction. I'm surprised that they didn't get Blake. I wish they had gotten Casey or Casey's ex-boyfriend. Maybe that still will come. All right, my loves. Do you want to meet me in the other room and talk sister wives? I love that you guys are here. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't yet, please like this video. Please subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell. Thank you so much for all of your comments. Of course, I'm at Chris Alfera. I am on Instagram and I'm on TikTok. I always like, because it's like I sit there for a moment and like my mind wants to say Twitter because I am saying a T word in my mouth already, but that doesn't exist anymore. I'm always like, we're going to get, the next drop tomorrow. I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to like talk more about this dumbass show. All right. I'm not complaining. Buying it with Anna. She didn't say why she left. I wonder if she would not have picked Patrick and ran away. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make sense why she because she's like, she got scared that they were going to be friends, but then suddenly had a connection. Yeah, that doesn't quite make sense because the point of the show was to have like a real connection that like probably starts off as like friendly banter. Anyway, my loves. Okay, so this is, I'll put it in the link again. That'll be it. And then after that, we'll do toe. Okay, baby boos. I'll talk to you later. And yeah, I love you. Bye.